Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Now in our last video, we dynoed an 09 Z06 Corvette to see if the catalytic converter had any effect on the power output. And the shocking result was it virtually had no effect. Now there was one question that seemed to be on everyone's mind in the comment section. You asked for it, so today we are gonna see, is your catalytic converter costing your turbo car horsepower? So for this test, we're gonna be using the stock catalytic converter, an illegal straight pipe,
right to jail, right away,
and an aftermarket stock replacement converter. We're gonna be dyno testing that 98 Acura Integra GSR. Now that Integra is equipped with the stock B18 C1 with the only modification being the Greddy Turbo kit. Now in stock form, that Greddy kit is regulated to about 6 PSI. To find the limits of the converter, we're gonna go ahead and up the boost to about 15 PSI or 1 bar. This will ensure we exceed the flow rate of the stock converter. Now we're also gonna be doing some emissions testing, and you bet we will be logging engine parameters during the test. Let's get this thing strapped to the dyno and make some pulls. Ready? Well,
That was
we need a fan.
292. Yeah, it's getting
Yeah.
hotter and hotter. That's okay.
that's all we can do. All right, you guys, we just wrapped up our dyno testing. The results were crazy. Let's head into the classroom and review the data. Okay, so I said the results were crazy, but I lied. These are actually the results that everybody probably expected. So let's break it down. We should start by explaining why this test is different from the test we ran on the Corvette in a previous video. First point being is that the Corvette is not nearly as modified as the Integra. So the catalytic converter is not being pushed past its limits. The second point being is that the Corvette runs a mass airflow sensor as to where the Integra runs a speed density system. The mass airflow sensor allows for the computer to make corrections a lot easier. The last point being that the Corvette is a naturally aspirated car where the Integra is turbo. Now, why does this make a difference? Well, in a naturally aspirated car, the catalytic converter can affect the volumetric efficiency of the engine, or how well the air flows through it. On a turboed vehicle, the catalytic converter not only affects volumetric efficiency, but it also is going to affect boost pressure. Let us know in the comments if you want me to do a deep dive into turbo concepts like this. Now, the first run on the Integra was with the stock Cat, which has less than 2 inches of diameter. At 8,000 RPM, we made about 282 horsepower and 223 foot-pounds of torque with about 14 PSI of boost. We can make a note here that our ignition timing was at 17 degrees before top dead center and that our air-fuel ratio was at 11.8 to 1. Now, ideal air-fuel ratio should be at about 0.8 lambda or 11.8 to 1. Most tuners will shoot for 11.8 to 1 for most turbo vehicles. On the second run, an aftermarket stock replacement style cat similar to a Type R cat with 2.5-inch piping was installed. At 8,000 RPM, the Integra made 302 horsepower and 234 foot-pounds of torque. Now in this run, the ignition timing was at 16 degrees before top dead center, and the boost increased to 15.6 pounds. How did this happen? Now when the cat was installed, we had increased back pressure. This pressure was actually forcing the wastegate to open, lowering the boost. Now that we've increased the diameter of our exhaust piping and reduced that restriction, we don't have that force acting upon the wastegate, therefore increasing the boost. So some of the power increase we got was due to the efficiency, while the rest was due to boost increase. Because of this, we can see the air-fuel ratio actually went to 12.5 to 1, which is a lot leaner than we'd like. This is a perfect example of how a speed density system isn't able to compensate in the same way that a system with a mass airflow sensor would. Now the final run was made with just a 2.5-inch straight pipe exhaust, no cat. Public service announcement, this is illegal.
Right to jail.
Do not try this at home, kids. This is for testing purposes only.
Believe it or not, jail.
Now at 8,000 RPM, the Integra made 320 horsepower with about 244 foot-pounds of torque, a 38 horsepower increase from the stock cat with another 20 foot-pound increase in torque. The ignition timing was at 16 degrees before top dead center, and the boost jumped up to 16.1 psi, with the air-fuel ratio being left at 12.8 to 1, which is dangerously lean. We made a ton of power, but at the potential risk of some serious engine damage. This car actually needs a tune with no cat. If you're interested in making big horsepower like this Integra, make sure to check out my last video on MBT ignition timing. Wow, that was a lot of fun, and I think we all learned a lot. If you like this content, please like and subscribe, and if you want to help support more of this content, you can even become a member. I'll see you in the next video.
Right away.